Greetings, YouTube. Hello once again. This is 3coursethoughts here with another video. And today's topic is going to be the secret of willpower. Once again, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, nights, whatever time period it is that you're in. So today let's get right into our topic. So I know normally I've been talking about, like, I've defined the term as I understand it before getting into the deeper end of the topic, but I'm going to delay that slightly, so just bear with me. So one of the secrets of willpower is its essence, so what it encompasses mainly. And I feel like personally, I saw Star Wars, the fifth episode 5, which is The Empire Strikes Back. Back in the day, it was called Empire Strikes Back. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. But get to a point. A character, a Jedi known as Yoda, made this quote: "Do or do not. There is no try." And basically, in this scenario, Luke Skywalker was trying to get his ship from is sunk in a swamp, and he's trying to get it out. He's trying to use the Force to get it out, and despite his efforts, he was unable to get it out. So Yoda challenged him to get the ship out, and Luke is telling him he doesn't think he can do it. And then he made this quote. Now, the importance of this quote in representing the essence of willpower is that you commit yourself to a particular challenge or endeavor. So you give it everything you have. So if I say, I'm going to go to work on time today, within that statement, with respect to willpower, you're implying that I'm going to do everything in my power already. So that's already encompassed in that statement. So that's in essence what willpower is in a nutshell. So with that being said, what do you mean by willpower? What is willpower? Sure, the dictionary has its own definition, but how I define it, it's a finite resource, which means it's limited. It's internal, it's inside of you, that helps an individual get through different challenges that life presents you. And yes, also waking up sometimes, it's also a challenge. In our day-to-day lives, there are a lot of challenges that we face. Even the mundane things, personal challenges, things for the sake of other people. With willpower being a finite resource, this gauge, this is like a pressure gauge, is a good example of willpower. So the green section would be like, let's say the tank is full. Yellow is where you some of the reserves of your willpower have used up, and the red would be like it's completely used up, you have none left. So as such, you generally don't want to have it not used up. It's highly recommended you preserve as much of it as possible. Now I've just defined willpower, and I said that you should preserve as much of your willpower as possible. And why is that? Why is that important? Primarily speaking, without willpower, a lot of the frameworks that one individual established, or things that you set out to do, things that you need to get done, there's a good chance it's going to be almost impossible, because your body is going to be working against you. It's going to be greatly compromised. Now, how can you preserve your willpower? Well, one of the main ways to preserve your willpower is to avoid overextending yourself to the best of your ability. Like I said before, and I try to emphasize on this channel, in our day-to-day lives, there's a lot of things going on in the world around us, via the news, surrounding our interpersonal circles, our own personal weaknesses and things that we have to go through. That is a given. With that being said, it's highly recommended. You do what you need to do, but it's highly recommended that you avoid overextending yourself. Now, there's a difference between that and challenging yourself. So I'm not encouraging people to go out there and be lazy, or like not challenge yourself, avoid challenges. That, hey, I don't want to overextend myself. Let me avoid that challenge. Because when you challenge yourself, that's more with respect to an honest evaluation of your ability or abilities as you know it. You being honest to yourself and focusing specifically on a difficult task. So usually you're focusing on one thing. You're trying to get that thing done, whatever that may be. Usually something that's important to you, and it's a challenge. Now, with preserving willpower, there's also, what happens if your willpower runs out? If you need to restore your willpower? Well, to restore your willpower, you usually get some rest. You can do one of several things. Usually, one of the top things is to sleep on it. Get a good night's sleep. Sometimes you're lacking sleep, lack of 7 to 8 hours. Ideally, but it's pretty, we're pretty busy in these times, so maybe you may have to reduce it to 6. Leisure is very important. That's the next one. When I say leisure, I'm not talking about like you sit down all day watching movies, playing video games, and so forth. More so as a reward for hard work that you've already done, or if you really feel burned out, you're utilizing it to help you gain your sense of self back, you balance it out. Not all work, but some play as well. Make sure you eat, balanced diet, that's very important, because the nutrients that you get from that diet will fuel your body and so forth, which will help your willpower. Family and friends, this is very important. You can bounce off ideas off one another and so forth, but aside from that, having good times with people that you can share good times with, that helps, that helps endorphins and, the laughter and all those good times, those good experiences that you build on, that helps a lot in this regard. These are all especially important in modern day society. A lot of things going on. So willpower restoration, extremely, extremely essential. Now, aside from preserving one's willpower and also restoring it, building one's willpower is also something important. Probably in its essence, somewhat more important, slightly, than preserving your willpower, because if you build upon your willpower, you have a greater reserve in which you can utilize and draw from. It's like building up your stamina, but on a different scale. So how can one build? What are some ways one can build up their willpower? One of them is facing your fears. And when I say facing your fears, I mean usually something that you're afraid of. It's difficult, so don't get me wrong. I still have fears I have to face, and I'm still trying my best to face to the best of my abilities. Like one fear I have is I'm afraid of heights. Afraid of being in high places, but I've been trying to work on that. And usually in working on the fears, it enhances your perspective, and it's a sense of accomplishment, and it gives you a greater sense of security in those situations. And if that's a situation that you're weak in, usually when you're afraid of something, that's generally a situation you're weak in. So if you feel stronger in a situation that you're weak in, that's going to enhance your inner strength. Because now and it's going to spread outwards. So let's say it'll enhance your perspective and inner strength in a situation that you know you're strong in, a situation you know you're average in, and so forth. Overcoming adversity is another manner in which you build willpower. Like I said before, like I constantly emphasize on this channel, is that in our day-to-day lives, there's a lot of things going on, and as such, a lot of those things that are happening is adverse situations, adverse challenges, challenges at work, challenges interpersonal, challenges in relationships, and all those things. All these things that are adverse can be potentially adverse situations. Things that we have to endure. Sometimes we have to walk away from. Sometimes we have to face directly in a manner in which we have to overcome it. When you boil it down. So overcoming adversity is another way to build your willpower. A third way to build your willpower is embracing challenge. So you go out and seek challenges. Like I said before, generally a challenge is something where you have an honest evaluation of your abilities or a level that you think you're at within a certain range, and you make that honest evaluation, and then you focus on that particular task, or sometimes set of tasks too. But even if it's a set of tasks, it's like, okay, I'm going to be better at speaking a different language. I'm going to be better at work on my empathy, things of that nature. And then you focus on it one at a time. So let's say you have 3 challenges you want to do per day, or in a particular day or something like that. Challenge 1, you make sure you focus on that challenge and that challenge alone. You don't do challenge 1 and 2 at the same time. Challenge 1, then challenge 2, then challenge 3. And maybe you take a break in between. So that's now finally, with respect to willpower and its vast secrets and such. So I talked about preserving willpower. I talked about building willpower. So with respect to willpower, when do you actually need to use it? And on a fundamental scale, it's that extra push that helps you get through your day, get tasks done, and so forth. And it plays a role in the determination, how much you want to accomplish the task, or how much you're willing to persevere and continue despite setbacks. Your motivation, which is your desire to get the task done, over with, to get through it, and also your focus. Without willpower, none of these things, all these things are going to be compromised. Sometimes you may be even lacking one of these things, but willpower is that hidden factor that plays a role in you getting that push to get things done. So this is a primary, so that's when you absolutely need it. So it's highly recommended that you reserve it as a last resort. Try to build it up as much as possible and utilize it absolutely when you need it. But when you need it, you need it. You have to use it. When it runs out, you're going to pretty much be very lethargic, very inefficient, and in our day-to-day society, it's going to be a very painful ride. So, with respect to that, that's because life and its challenges is a marathon. It's not a race, and as such, you can have unexpected challenges that come about, and though that willpower reserve that you preserved and built up can come in handy for those situations. So it can help get you through that.